Everybody, welcome to the channel. Um, my first video on sensitivity, I wanted to kind of give you an idea of where it came from. Um, it was basically the beginning of this year. I had a conversation with my yin yang. There's somebody at work that I've been working with just this last year, and like half of us are like the same kind of weird, like quirky, bizarre people, and then the other side of us, we bump heads and just always want to punch each other in the face. Well, anyway, so we got on the conversation of music, and I said something I should have not said. I'm not even gonna say this blasphemy again, but there's two conversations that we do not get on these topics because she will freak out, and yeah, like it's all out war between us. So I try to stay away from them. Music is one of them. Okay, so so um, I have a love for music. It's not that, but when I was young, like, and when I was trying to learn about music, and like trying to learn how to sing and whatever, um, um, I was also learning about psychology. I was also learning about um, uh, all kinds of aspects of the experience. And one of the things I always wanted to do is a project called V Teacher, where I did like a curriculum on, um, um, well, like a video format or whatever. This was spawned by one day me and some buddies sat down and watched a PBS show called The Third Party, and it basically took you right through the history of politics. And my buddy was like, "Where was this in school? Like, I just learned like way more than I ever learned in school." So then I developed this idea, this curriculum, where it was like whatever education, but it was in video format, so you can utilize the tools of like mnemonic devices that are like built them into how you present the information, and like you know animations for sure, 3D animations or whatever. I used to watch. We would get like free subscriptions to the Science Channel. So cool, some of the programs on there, and it was like these animations of like alien safari, like what aliens could be on, what life could be like on different planets of like how life could have developed under certain conditions or whatever. That was really thought provoking and pretty cool. But anyway, so when I think of music, okay, when I'm singing, I I just experience it, and singing is it just feels good to me. But when it comes to like listening to music, like I'm kind of a hole about this because like when I was young, I would listen to music and it was lyrics. It was what they were saying, and that's how it came across. But the more I got into it, the more I like now I can separate the music from the lyrics, and then kind of and then I also love all kinds of electronica. So somebody once asked me what my favorite music is, and I was like, I can't really explain this. And um, it's certain things. It's like when you listen to like house music or like techno. For me, it's where it has this amazing build and then just drops into something that like just makes you want to move or something like that, or like the guitar riff from "Ain't No Sunshine," when like it was the first, I don't know, two or four measures, and then when it goes into the actual, um, I guess I don't know, it's like it's like it there, I don't know, it starts with the verse, but it like builds and then goes into this just amazing guitar riff that just moves. And so when you ask me what my favorite music is, it's like it's not. I don't think I really have one. It's just these key elements to different things. But when I look at when I hear music in a lot of cases, I analyze the beep out of it. Um, so it's like like to me, like the beats, the tones, um, like the structure itself. These all have like psychological effects on what you're taking in, and and then I love psychology and philosophy. So what they're saying, like half the time, I just break down like what they're saying anyway. So to me, like I in a lot of cases will look at music from this weird like I don't know like wannabe scientist way, and but she's young and she's like, oh, music is my passion. It saved my life. And I'm like we started this argument. And I was like, I stepped back and I was like, man, that's amazing. Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Like I wanted to stop the conversation completely because I was like, dang it, like you're not gonna see my point of view on this, and it is absolutely beautiful that's your take on it. Um, but like what I was saying with V teacher, um, like those tones, those those different like qualities of sound can help commit short like in information intake to long term memory. Well, anyway, so because I'm so analytical and she can never ever appreciate what I where I was coming from on this, um, she said something very brash, I guess you'd say. She's like, you know what? If I kind of like if I was a cold a hole like you, I would just off myself or end myself, And I was like, you got to understand that's her. I don't. That's not where she what she was actually saying, but it kept ringing in my head, and I was just like, you know what? Like that conversation completely aside, I'm um, like it just kept stirring with me. I'm like, you know what? There's no way with my interests and all my job history and like all the ideas that I've developed to a certain point and then get thrown off and then go start on something completely new when I try to start something. But I'm like, there's no reason for me to be sitting here and just going through this routine all the time. So, and over the last, I don't know, 5 years, I haven't touched, I kind of abandoned art for the most part and just started taking in way more information. And, so I'm like, I don't even want to put information out there, which is ironic. I see that, but and I haven't written anything except like two, three, like couple page essay type deals in like I don't know 5 to 8 years. Like I just I don't know. My perspective on things have changed and whatnot, but I was like, a year or two ago, I was like, I just started writing down these things that I wanted to write about, and the rants, like things that I have issues with. Not that my feelings and opinions are valid, I know, um, uh, but anyway, so the writing is one of the art forms that I miss the most. It always flowed really well for me. So I missed that. So, but I'm like, I just have a different take on things now. So I wrote down, like things about my little narrowed worldview that I was like, I want to rant about, and then there was I actually wrote a kind of an outline for another philosophy book or whatever, just my take on stuff or whatever. But like I said, I've only sat down to write maybe 3 times in the last year or two. Well, when she said that, it just kept stirring with me. It kept stirring with me. It kept stirring with me. And like, so I was like, something needs to change here. So I started working. Like I went to school. I took a couple photography classes and dabbled with that and kind of learned some editing of photos and some editing, some video editing, some audio engineering and stuff like that. Very very nominal, very amateur type stuff. But like I used to do a lot of photography, and I was like, you know what? I was like, but I was like, maybe I'm in the wrong place. So this weekend I was like, I knew it was time for God to give me some kind of answer. And it's funny because it hasn't panned out yet, but I have not completely abandoned these projects. But so that weekend I was like, man, I would make a really good assistant, like professional assistant to somebody. So I started thinking about that, and I woke up Saturday and went out, smoked my cigarette and coffee, or drank my coffee, and like in my little book, I had an idea for a documentary, and that was one of the things is I was going to do art for a certain amount of time, and then I wanted to turn my attention more towards education and helping, and just working in education. But so it was funny. I just wrote down this documentary idea or whatever, and did a little outline. And then like the rest of the weekend, I'm like mulling over. I was like, who, just as like an example, like who would I want to back up if it was even a possibility for me to go into like be someone's assistant in that way. And so I kept trying to think about this, and then but by the end of the weekend, I had a list of 11 documentaries about like how science sees our reality now. And I'm like, so I was like, man, this really is up my alley. So that Monday, I had it divided. So Monday, Wednesday, and mostly Monday, Wednesday, and depending how I felt on Friday and Saturday, those are like my study or work on idea nights. And then I would try to. I was doing really good working out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Sundays. But so Monday, I was like, man, how can I fund this? How can I build a life while funding these projects and stuff? And like I was like, hey, dummy, you could get back into photography and expand on videography. When I was in school, like that was the plan, was to switch over to the AV department anyway. And so I started developing a business plan and whatnot over the last, but I came across some hiccups, and I was like, you know what? I don't know what clients like I know it doesn't really work that way, that you put yourself out there and get whatever work you can. But I kind of hesitated. I have not abandoned this project yet. I think it would be a really great life if that's where God and His universe send me. But I did. I was knocking out goal after goal after goal, and then also so as I'm working on this stuff, I'm like, what like I did really well. Like I sat down and was like, I need to learn all this stuff. I need to like what I need to do and what I need to learn and what I need to set up for the business. And then like a week later, in the next week, I set all these goals, and then it was great. Like I was knocking them off one by one. And I got to my last two goals, and I was like, first of all, the equipment was a big investment, and like I'm super excited to do that when I'm sure and ready to do that. And then the other one was making a legal plan and like setting all that up. But I stopped myself dead in my tracks. I'm like, am I ready to take on clients again and that kind of thing? I haven't abandoned the project because I would really, really love to do these documentaries, whether it be actually setting up that life so I can fund them or, something else, if God allows it. Okay, so while I'm doing this, I'm working on kind of reacquainting myself with like professionalism and stuff, because I just been working in a factory for the last couple of years and stuff again. And there was a couple things so I like to keep a little book just to write down anything. I used to do this a long time ago. Someone once asked me if that was my RAM, my random access memory, and I was like, yeah, pretty much. And so like, but it used to be people's phone numbers, just quotes that I think of. I just would write down anything and everything. And so I started doing that again this year. I actually went to and got these little sketchbooks. So like, I was like, yeah, I can even draw some stuff in there, but I haven't drawn anything. But it was cool. I used to get you could get like 3-pack memo books for $1 and just keep those in my pocket. And but anyway, so one day I was at work and someone was trying to give me a hard time, but they told me that talking to me is like talking to a child because I overthink things. And while I'm talking, I do weigh out what I'm thinking, and I'm like, so I try to project exactly what I'm saying to the person because I feel like that's a respect for them. But I was told that talking to me is kind of like talking to a child because you can lose your audience that way. And then I was also there's actually been a couple times where I was talking to my boss and trying to get stuff done and make sure it was done right. And it was like it was like we were talking a totally different language, right? So I wrote this in my little book. I was like, speech coaching or whatever. So I got online. I started looking up what I could about speech coaching. And like I watched a couple of documentaries. I watched or a couple informative videos and stuff like that. I looked up some key points on talking and presenting information and ideas. I know. There were there came a weekend. I was like, I just want to do something fun. And I know this, I'm weird or whatever, but I took an old business idea I had and I asked a couple people in my life, hey, can I pitch you an idea? And I didn't, it wasn't any, it was just for fun. It was just for me to like practice just talking to somebody or whatever again. And it was, they went sort of okay. Well, when I started this, my speech training, one of the things is like one of the one that I liked, it was the one I liked the most. The idea was make videos, and watch yourself. So I made this video of that same pitch. It's an idea that I still love it, but I'm not really pursuing that or anything. But it was just an idea that from 15 years ago, for like, I don't know, 15 to 10 years ago or whatever I worked on. And so it was an idea that I knew very well, but I hadn't touched it in, like forever. So the pitch was shaky and like people in my life, like I use the word like a lot. I use those fillers and it's, if I understand it correctly, like I'm buying time when I use those little likes and uhs and I got on the kick of So I started doing these videos. I took my pitch and I did this video and it was terrible. And but what I learned from it is if I was going to do a sale like a business pitch for any reason, I need a presentation because that would and a presentation and I need to practice. I didn't practice any of these at all. So that was actually encouraging because I was like the video was just terrible because I didn't prepare at all. And then my sensitivity video, which is my first video that I'm posting for you, was so I was like, well, so I need to see how I think, and as far as presenting information and ideas, and I was like, well, hey, I have this list of rants that I was going to write about, so I did the sensitivity video, and so since I'm telling you about it, I'll tell you my little analysis on it. It's not like writing. When I write, like if I would sit down and do a story, or if I was going to write a story, I'd sit down and write out my my chapters, my index or whatever, because then I know, then I can see the whole story, and then I can just sit down and fill in how the whole thing flows. Or if I'm writing an essay, well, yeah, if I'm writing an essay, or when I used to write poetry or whatever, like I can put a structure in my head of how it's going to go. So the sensitivity video, it was fun to watch because like I don't hate it. It's stuttery and it's all over the place. You can tell that my thoughts are not presented like clearly, and I'm hoping that if I keep doing these videos for you, my speaking will get more fluid. But with the sensitivity video, I did not hate it. I liked what some of the things that I was saying with it, but it was like I need to look at these like I was writing, and instead of see that one, I wanted to see how I thought as far as presenting the ideas, but for like any of the other ones, what I'm going to try to do is have my outline or my structure of the information that I want to present to you, and just go through it as best I can. I'm sure I'm going to say I'm sure I'm going to stutter. That's just part of me, but I'm hoping I get more fluid as we go. So that's what was going on with the sensitivity video. It's just part of a list of rants, and so that's why I'm starting with that one. It wasn't even part of this the idea of doing this channel. It's just it's already on my phone, so I figured I'd start with that one. All right, thanks a lot.